morning. It's Monday, and I'm up doing my tiger cycling. It's not actually early, so it's not like I'm only up to do it. Yeah, so I'm doing my tiger cycling this morning, which is fine. I seem to be doing okay with that. Doing one dose of that and doing the in-vans every day. It's going okay, and I'm planning on starting the quartum this morning also, and see how that goes. I've been kind of putting it off because I just couldn't really deal with another thing. But I didn't really want to make a video because of health stuff. I wanted to make a video because of other stressful stuff going on. In my last video, I talked a little bit about this stuff going on with Eric and I about financial stuff and his mortgage, and I don't remember exactly how much detail I got into, but it basically, he owes a certain amount on his mortgage. He's underwater on his mortgage, so he owes a certain amount, and what he could sell his condo for is about $30,000 to $40,000 less than what he owes, which is common right now for people to be underwater. My sister is in the same situation with her and my brother-in-law's house. Not quite as bad as Eric's, but you know, it's a common thing with how the economy is right now. So it wouldn't be an issue if Eric and I were happy to just stay here, but we're not, because it's the location is not fantastic, but like that would not really be enough for us to leave given this situation. But it's really the size. It's a one bedroom. It's like, I think 700 something square feet. It's an okay size for one person. The two of us are managing, but like it's hard with two people, and it leaves no space at all for having kids, which we want to do, you know, in the next couple of years. So, given that, and the fact that we want to move up to where Eric's brother and sister-in-law and niece are, and soon his other brother and sister-in-law will be up there. They're moving at the end of February to the same apartment community, which is where we want to move. So anyway, so given all of this, and given the situation, we had a realtor who came and like looked around and, you know, had gathered information about other condos in this in these buildings, in this, I don't know what you call it, condo community, and there hasn't been one sold in the last couple of years, and there hasn't been a one bedroom that has been bought or sold in the last like 5 years, probably since he bought this one. So anyway, so there's not a ton of really good information to be had, but given the information that he did have, and you know, the way the economy is and all of that, the information that he gave us was that we could sell it for about $30,000 to $40,000 less than what is still owed on the mortgage. So given that, we were like, okay, so we're not going to sell it. Like that was our first reaction. So we'll look into renting it out. And we didn't think that we'd be able to rent it out and completely cover the expenses of the mortgage and the condo fees. And also, I mean, there'd be repairs and stuff like that, that as a landlord you need to do. Shoot, my battery is low. I'm going to pause this and plug my computer in and come back in a second. So I'm talking about renting. I need to remember that when I come back. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay. That was slightly more difficult than I thought it would be. But anyway, so, And on my computer, I'm not quite sure what it's doing. So we weren't sure that we'd be able to rent it for enough to cover the expenses. But at first, so this has all happened it's been less than 2 weeks. The realtor came, it'll be 2 weeks ago, the day after tomorrow, Wednesday. But anyway, so we wanted to kind of find out how much we'd be able to rent it for, so we've been trying to get in touch with someone who would do that for us, who would, like, find someone to rent it and everything. And the realtor recommended someone, and, like, Eric contacted her, and she was supposed to call us on Saturday, and we're supposed to talk to her, and she never called. So we're gonna be trying to find someone else. But anyway, so the information that I've been able to gather online is that we'd be able to rent it for about $1,000 a month. And so, like, that wouldn't quite cover the cost of everything. But at first, it seemed like we'd be okay with renting it and just taking a loss in order to not sell it at such a huge loss, not have to do a short sale, which would be another possibility, and be able to not, be able to leave, be able to not have to live here for the next 5 years. So anyway, that was, like, initially, and Eric, like, freaked out. He spent, like, 3 or 4 days doing, like, all these calculations, and it was just kind of ridiculous, and he was so stressed, and it was really hard to be around him. But, like, I was trying to be really supportive and just help him get through that stress, and let him know that, it would work out and it would be okay. So anyway, so then, after about a week, he started talking about the option of just walking away from the mortgage. And at first I was like, okay, so he's just, putting that out there, but it's not really something that he's considering. And then over the next couple of days, it became something that he was, like, seriously considering. And now it's become, like, this battle between the two of us, because I am not comfortable with that. And he is getting ticked off at me for not being willing to consider it, and not being comfortable with it, because it's going to affect his credit a lot, and, like, potentially affect our ability to rent an apartment where we want to rent an apartment up where his brother lives. Because, the mortgage is in his name, it will affect his credit, but I'm not working. I work a little bit, but I don't work nearly enough to be able to rent an apartment just in my name. And I believe that since we'll be married, like, they would check both of our credit anyway. So there's that. So it's like, it would ruin his credit. And then it would make it so that we can't get a house, we can't get another mortgage for the next 7 years. And for a little while he was saying that, like, he doesn't want to ever buy a house, which is a total 180 from how he was, 6 months ago, or a month ago. Like, he's always wanted a house. Like, that's always been his goal, is to get a house. And so I had to point blank say, I want a house at some point. Like, I want us to have our own house at some point. It's not okay with me to not. If it was just the two of us, I might feel differently, but, like, we want a family, and even just the two of us, like, I want us to have our own place that's ours, and that we settle down, and so anyway, so it's been this big, thing. And so we've like had these conversations, and they get heated, I guess. It doesn't seem like the right word, but and like I have trouble trying to talk to him because I feel like he's not in a place where I can actually have a rational conversation with him, and he doesn't feel like I'm being rational, and he's looking at things like just from the perspective of money and dollars and, you know, numbers, and not realizing that like that's not everything, that's not all that I take into account when I'm looking at all this stuff. So anyway, so it got to the point yesterday where we were talking about wedding stuff, and like we were figuring out how much more we owe for the wedding, and like he was all stressed out because he had done these calculations and it had come out to this big number. And then I came home from church and sat down with him, and like we figured out that we can cut back on the photography, and that he hadn't figured in that the kids cost less than the adults for the meals. And he also had, in changing some of the stuff around, forgotten to take into account that we had already paid a deposit, a relatively large deposit to the venue. So anyway, so once I came home, like, the numbers came significantly down, and he calmed down a bit about that. But then we were talking about, again, about all of this mortgage stuff, and about, I guess it was about me working, and me planning on leaving my job at my church at the end of this year, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing because I don't know where we're going to be living. And that, you know, he's like, well, you know, we're not going to know, you know, we're not going to make a decision until like April or May at least. And I was like, oh, well, I thought we would make a decision in the next like month or two. Basically as far as whether we were going to rent or whether we were going to be staying here. Because if we're going to rent, then I would imagine we would be out of here faster. If we're not going to rent and we're going to try to do something else, I'm imagining we're going to be here for like a year, at least. Which is not great, but whatever. And so then we came back around to talking about, you know, short sale, walking away from the mortgage, and the fact that I'm just not comfortable with that. He said, you know, you're just pissing me off and I just need to go do something else. And so he went, what he does to calm down is he goes and cleans. So he went and cleaned the bathroom and cleaned the kitchen, I think, and vacuumed and did laundry and did a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure if, like, I mean, the laundry is something that technically during the week, like, I'm supposed to take care of, or like that's kind of how we have it arranged, is that like during the week while I'm home, it's good if I can get the laundry done, but we're kind of on a Sunday schedule with it now, so it's hard for me to do it during, I mean, not that I can't, but whatever. So I'm not sure if he was like kind of annoyed that I hadn't done it. I don't know. So basically we didn't talk the rest of the day. That was at, I don't know, maybe 2:33. And I stayed out here in the living room for a little while he was, you know, around doing stuff. And then after a few hours, you know, I took some stuff with me into the bedroom and, you know, lay down in bed and watched some stuff on Netflix and, you know, just separated myself. And like we didn't talk. We didn't talk the rest of the day, except for him to ask. You know, he was ordering food for dinner, and he came to ask me if I wanted anything. He came to tell me that the food was here, and that was it. And that was all that we said to each other. And this morning he said goodbye to me. And so he went to work out at the gym this morning with his brother, and usually he calls me on his way from the gym to work, and he didn't call me. And yeah, so and I'm not quite sure what to think about it all. Like, so I've now reached out to my older sister, and I've reached out to my dad, and sent messages to them, and they've responded back, and we've, kind of talked back and forth a little bit. And I'm gonna go up and visit Eric's sister-in-law and our niece today, and talk with her about it, because like I am having trouble figuring out if who's being ridiculous, or if neither of us are being ridiculous, or how to handle this situation, because like this is certainly not turning into a fantastic situation, and it's getting worse, it seems, as time goes on, rather than better. So I'm just not quite sure how to handle it. And I mean, I want to enjoy this time leading up to our wedding and not be spending days not talking to each other and stressed out and all of this. So anyway, I mainly just wanted to come and release some of this, and talk in hopes that it would help. I'm not sure if it did, but thanks for listening anyway, if any of you have. And yeah, I'll try to update if there's anything to update on. I mean, I'll see Eric tonight, but I have no idea what kind of situation we'll be in. So, yeah. So that's it. Hope you're all having a good Monday so far. And I will talk to y'all again soon.